Hello students, welcome to Edutap and welcome to the session. So as you know that we have already started a series for you which is ARD Simplified, and in this series we are trying to cover all the important concepts related to agriculture and rural development in a detailed manner. So बहुत ही डिटेल में समझेंगे हर एक टॉपिक को, and this is the very first lecture I would say. So in this particular lecture we are going to understand a very important topic which is soil profile and its formation. So we know soil and water conservation is a very important topic for your NABARD examination, and if we see the weightage of this particular subject, usually around 4 to 5 questions are there in the examination from this particular chapter, right? So we'll start with that only, and we'll understand today about soil profile and its formation. So students, to start with, let me tell you what all we are going to cover in this particular lecture, okay, and how we are going to cover it. So first of all, I am going to tell you about what is soil. First, we are going to understand what actually soil is, right? Then I'm going to tell you a bit about soil science, because see, we are studying soil as a part of science, as a part of agricultural science, right? So what is this soil science? Why we need to study this soil science? So we are going to discuss all about that. Then to understand how soil profile is formed, what is soil profile and how soil profile is formed, we are going to understand how in first place soil is formed. ओके, सो सॉइल प्रोफाइल कैसे बनती है, उसके लिए सबसे पहले ये जानेंगे कि सॉइल कैसे बनती है. सो देन वील डिस्कस अबाउट सॉइल प्रोफाइल, इट्स फॉर्मेशन एंड फ्यू इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोसेसेस दैट टेक प्लेस इनसाइड सॉइल प्रोफाइल दैट लीड्स टू फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द complete soil profile, right? So this is the agenda of this video, and we'll start with what is soil. Now students, if you see, the definition of soil for everybody will be different, right? For a layman, it's just a dirt or debris, right? For an agriculturist, it is what we can say, it is a habitat where plant grow, or it is a support system for plant, right? For a mining engineering, it is something, a debris which is covering rocks. And if I ask a civil engineer, he will say it is a material on which roads are prepared, on which house beds are formed, right? So each one have a different explanation of what is soil, but we are understanding here soil in terms of agriculture, its importance in terms of agriculture, right? So as we are reading this soil under agriculture subject, so we will understand soil as a habitat where plant grow. Okay, for us soil is something, a support system or a base on which our plants are growing, on which our crops are growing, right? So this is a general definition or a different I can say perspective of soil for different people, but we are, as an agriculturist, we are going to understand soil as a habitat where plants are growing. Now students, what is the definition of soil? Now what is this soil actually, right? Ye soil hai kya? So basically it is a nutrient bin that supplies all nutrient required for plant growth. Okay, so if we see, plant grow on soil, right? Now how this plant is growing? This plant might be taking up something from soil. Okay, it is absorbing something from soil which is helping in its growth and development. And what this plant is absorbing? It is absorbing nutrients, right? हमें भी अपने we also need nutrients, we also need carbohydrate, protein, fats, fiber for growth and development. Similarly, plants also need some nutrients for growth and development, and that nutrient is provided by soil. Okay, understand this thing. So soil is what? For us, soil is a nutrient bin. It is something which have all the nutrient that is required by plant to grow. Clear? Now this term soil has been derived from a Latin word solum. Okay, it has been derived from a Latin word solum, which means floor. Okay, so this is just a from where this term has been derived. ये आपको याद रखना है. It has been derived from a Latin word solum, जिसका मतलब होता है floor. Okay, now what are the main components of soil, right? What this soil is made up of basically? So basically your soil is made up of mineral matter. Okay, so 45%, this is, we are talking by volume. Okay, by volume, 45% mineral matter is present in soil. What is this mineral matter? We will be discussing this in coming slide, where we will discuss how soil is formed. Okay, but right now understand soil have some minerals, and 45% by volume mineral matter is present in soil that we see, right? Then there is organic matter, which is 5%. Okay, now apart from this mineral matter, there are organic matter also, right? All the dead decaying plant that is lying on the soil, it is getting decomposed, and it is adding organic matter to the soil. So that organic matter is also part of soil. So by volume, if we see in any soil around 5%, it is not something which is very definite, but it's average, right? So 5% organic matter is present. Then there is soil water. Now if we see, plant absorb water from soil. So how it is absorbing? When soil have water, right? So the constituent of soil water is 25% and constituent of soil air is 25%. Soil also had air, because see, if we see, soil is basically a small particle. It is the aggregate of small particles, right? Now these particles have some spaces in between, and in these spaces water and air is filled, right? So if we see, the percentage of by volume of soil water is 25% and by volume percentage of soil air is 25%. Now this air is also very important, because plant root grow inside the soil, and this root also need some space to grow, as well as this root need air for respiration. Okay, so how that is provided? Again, due to the space that is present in between the soil, where soil air is trapped, where soil air is present. Clear? So right now don't go into that detail, just understand here that soil have few components, which include your mineral matter, organic matter. We also have soil air and soil water. Clear? Now I hope till now it's clear that what is soil, right? For us, soil is something which is providing nutrient to the plant for its growth and development. Okay, so let's move ahead and let's understand what is soil science. Now students, when we say all the nutrients are provided by soil to the crop for its growth and development, so we can assume, or we can conclude from this statement itself, that soil is very important resource for agriculture, right? Because all our crops, ultimately it is going to grow on soil. So soil is a very important resource for us. So we need to understand soil in order to grow, or in order to increase productivity of our crop, right? तो हम जब सॉइल की अंडरस्टैंडिंग अच्छे से होगी, तभी हम क्रॉप की प्रोडक्टिविटी को इंक्रीज कर सकेंगे, राइट? सो फॉर दैट, under agriculture science, we have a separate branch which is known as soil science. Okay, so we have a separate branch under agriculture science, which is soil science, wherein we study soil as a natural resource. Okay, now we know it is a very important resource. Till now we have concluded that soil is very important resource for crop growth and development, as it is providing nutrient, water, air, support to the crop plant, right? So what all do we study under soil science? Like what aspects of soil? Okay, what kind of study we do under soil science? Let us understand that. So students, we study about soil formation. Okay, how this soil is formed, right? So first of all, we study under soil science that how the soil is formed. Then we also study about its classification and mapping. Now students, you might know that we have different types of soil. We have red soil, we have black soil, we have elfy soil, we have laterite soil, we have oxy soil, we have alti soils, and so and so. So different types of soils are present. So how this soil is classified, how this soil is mapped, where it is present, that is also studied under soil science. Clear? Now we also study about soil physical, chemical and biological property. What do we mean by physical, chemical and biological property? So students, if I talk about physical property of soil, so what is the physical state of soil? Means, okay, we'll take an example. We'll take two scenario. There are two fields, we can say, right? There are two fields. Here the soil is compact, very compact. There is no air space, there is no water space, and the soil is very hard. But here the soil is well pulverized, means the soil particles are in good physical state, they are allowing water to go inside, they are allowing air to go inside, right? So now, what do you think? Which physical state of soil is better for crop growth? Obviously this one, right? For say this is A and this is B. So field B have better physical condition for crop growth and development, right? So this, when we study about physical condition of soil or physical properties of soil, like how are soil particle, okay, what is the shape of soil particle, what is the density of soil, when these things are studied, okay, that is the physical property of soil, and that is also covered under soil science. Then we also study about chemical properties. Now, what kind of chemical reactions happens in soil? Now students, in soil, okay, it's not just a mineral matter that is present. This soil have organic matter, we have already discussed, and this organic matter is decomposed by microorganism, right? Now when microorganism decompose the organic matter, there are few chemicals that are released in soil, okay? So we can call these chemicals as nutrients also, but yes, for now there are few chemicals that are released in soil and that initiate some kind of chemical reaction, right? So that is the chemical property of soil. What kind of nutrient or chemicals that are present in soil, what kind of chemical reaction that is happening in the soil, what chemical reactions are good for plant growth, what chemical reactions are harmful for the plant growth, all these things is the chemical property of soil, and that is also dealt under soil science. Clear? Next we have biological property. So biological property in itself means that the type of flora and fauna that is present in soil, okay, and these flora and fauna are again very important. See, when we say organic matter decomposition, so who will decompose that organic matter? It will be some living organism, right? So all the living organisms that are residing in soil, again, that is studied and that comes under biological property of soil. So these all things, physical, chemical and biological property of soil is again studied under soil science. Also students, we study about soil fertility, how fertile soil is, because ultimately our aim is to increase the productivity of crop, right? So we will be only able to increase the productivity when we know how fertile soil is, right? So that is also studied under soil science. And also students, these property, how can we manage these property for better crop growth, that is also dealt under soil science. Now I hope you have got that clarity ki what is soil science, okay? So till now we have discussed what is soil, right? Soil is a nutrient bin that is providing nutrient for plant growth and development, right? Then soil science, study of soil as a natural resource that is present on Earth's surface. And what kind of study we are doing? We are studying about formation, classification, mapping, physical, chemical, biological properties, soil fertility, etc. and etc. Right? So I hope till now the lecture is understood कि ये समझ आ रहा है कि क्या कितना हमने अभी तक जो भी हमने अभी तक डिस्कस कर लिया, right? Okay, let's move ahead and let's now understand the soil formation. Right? So how this soil is formed actually? Let us understand that. So we have discussed about soil science. Now how this soil is formed, let us come back to the topic. So students, soil is formed from a parent material. There might be something, there is a parent material, means there is some source from which this soil is being formed, right? And that source is called as parent material, and usually this parent material is rock. Clear? So what is rock? Rock is basically, it is a mixture, it is made up of minerals. Okay, so rock is made up of minerals. So there are different minerals that combines and form a rock, or there can be one single type of mineral that has accumulated and formed a rock. So this rock is a parent material which is made up of minerals. Now you can understand from here that how mineral matter, which we were discussing earlier, is part of your soil, is a part of your component of soil, right? So mineral matter कैसे component है soil का? तो यहीं से minerals आते हैं, right? यहीं से mineral matter आते हैं. जो आपका rock है वो mineral से ही बना है. And when this rock decomposes, right, it forms mineral matter. It get decomposed, it get disintegrated into mineral matters. So that forms a huge component of your soil, right? So this parent material, which is rock, is made up of minerals, right? It decomposes, it disintegrates. How? There is a process which is known as weathering. What is weathering? What is weathering? Weathering is basically the conversion of parent material into, we can say, true soil. Okay, weathering is a process from which parent material is being converted into soil. Okay, so through weathering, parent material do not get directly converted into true soil, rather we get an intermediate stage which is called regolith. Okay, so after parent material has disintegrated or weathered, it get converted into regolith. What is this regolith? It is an unconsolidated mass of soil. Okay, or we cannot say which type of soil is this. We cannot identify here which type of soil is being formed, right? So it is an intermediate stage between parent material and your true soil. Now, once this regolith is formed, again weathering will continue. And then at last your true soil will be formed. Okay, so how the soil is formed? From parent material get weathered into regolith get further weathered into true soil. Right, now this true soil which is formed, we can identify this soil, which type of soil is formed, whether it is red soil, black soil, laterite soil, so and so. Right, now students, coming back to the weathering topic, because again we have to understand this weathering. It's very important that how actually this parent material is getting disintegrated. ये rock fragments में टूट कैसे रही है, right? How the disintegration or destruction of this rock is happening. So students, there are different types of weathering. We have physical, chemical and biological weathering. Okay, so let us understand now what is physical, chemical and biological weathering. Now students, if I talk about physical weathering means due to change in environmental condition, the physical state of rock is getting changed. Okay, basically this is your rock. ठीक है, आपकी rock है. Now इस पे क्या हो रहा है, कुछ environmental conditions के वजह से ये rock का जो structure है that is getting weaken up, means this rock structure is weakening and it is getting disintegrated. Okay, so कुछ भी change in environment के वजह से जो physical structure है rock का, जब वो disintegrate हो जाए, that is called physical weathering. Now what kind of changes we are talking about? So first, change in temperature. So students, when there is a change in temperature, the rock get disintegrated into fragments. How? Let me talk about that. So rock is made up of minerals. Minerals are made up of, again, some kind of chemicals, right? So this have some kind of structure. This rock have its own structure. It has its own stability, right? Now when the temperature changes, like there is high temperature during day and very low temperature during night, so the structure, this rock contract and expand. Okay, due to change in temperature, due to this contraction expansion, again cracks are formed and this rock get disintegrated. This rock get divided into different pieces. Clear? So this is how change in temperature is affecting your weathering, or how through change in temperature weathering is happening, which is physical weathering. Then action of water. Action of water. So students, see, there will be rainfall. The raindrop will hit the rock, right? It will hit the rock and it will weaken the structure of rock. So that's how rain is also impacting the stability of rock, and it is allowing physical weathering. Sometimes, for say this is our rock and this rock has this crack. ठीक है, इस rock में एक crack है. अब whenever there is a rainfall, what will happen? The water will settle in this crack. Water will settle down in this crack. And when there is a freezing condition, this is called freezing and thawing basically. When there is a freezing condition, what happens? We know when the water freezes, it increases its volume by 9%, right? So the water will freeze and the volume will increase. This will widen up the crack. This will widen up the crack, right? And again, the stability of or the structure of rock will get disintegrated. right? Then we have action of wind. So students, wind also, when there is a high wind velocity, right, that corrodes the structure of rock and also again lead to the physical weathering. Clear? So this is how physical weathering happens. Now let's talk about chemical weathering, because it is also important. A question has been asked from hydration part, right? So chemical weathering means when there is a chemical reaction taking place. Okay, some chemical from the rock is reacting with some chemical and it is weakening the structure of rock, and again it is leading to the leading to the weathering, that is chemical weathering, right? So first is hydration. What is hydration? Basically student, it is the addition of hydrogen. Okay? When hydrogen molecule get added to the chemical structure of rock, that is called hydration. Okay, and when any chemical reaction take place, it will weaken the stability, it will weaken the structure of rock, right? Because there will be chemical reaction that is taking place. The chemicals that are present in rock will react with any kind of substance or molecule. It will weaken the structure and hence it will lead to chemical weathering, right? Then there is a hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is basically breaking down of water, right? It is breaking down of water into hydrogen ion and OH ion, right? So again, when this hydrolysis happens, when water break down, this hydrogen will react with some chemical of rock. This OH will react with some chemical of rock, chemical that is present in the rock. Again, that will lead to any kind of, that will initiate some chemical reaction and it will lead to chemical weathering, right? Then we have solution. What is solution? Sometimes students, in the presence of water, few chemicals that is present in rock get dissolved in water. Okay, so like for say sodium is present in any rock. So when this rock come in contact with water, what will happen? This sodium will dissolve in water, right? So that is a solution, right? That is a solution reaction that happens, means the chemicals that is present in rock get dissolved in water. Again, when it will dissolve, it will weaken the stability of rock and the rock will disintegrate. Now another one we have is biological weathering. So what is biological weathering? Basically, it is due to the organism that is around, that is present, around the rock. We can say, like for say, if we have rock, it is a barren rock, right? Nothing is grown on this. But if slowly lichen, mosses that start growing on this rock, what will happen? These lichen and mosses will, use this rock as a base. And when lichen and moss will grow, they will release some kind of organic substances, right? They will release some kind of chemicals. And again, that chemical will react with the rock and it will weaken the structure of rock and lead to weathering. Clear? That is how biological weathering happens. Clear? I hope it is clear now, and it is clear that how rock or how soil is being converted into rock is being converted into true soil through different type of weathering process. Now let's talk about soil profile. So what is soil profile? So students, as we all have profile picture, right? So soil also have a profile picture through which we recognize which type of soil is this. Okay, so you can see this is a soil profile. Here, if we cut the vertical section of soil, we see different layers of soil. Okay, so this is a vertical section of soil where different layers are formed, and based on these layers, we recognize the type of soil. We see what horizons are formed. Horizons basically what kind of layers are present in soil. Clear? So before understanding these layers, first let us see that how the soil profile is being formed. So basically students, when the soil is being formed, जब soil बनती है तभी आपकी soil profile भी बनती है, right? This is true soil. This is parent material which is being getting disintegrated due to physical, chemical and biological weathering, right? अब क्या होगा? The weathering will be more on the top layer as compared to the bottom layer, right? जो weathering होगी यहाँ पे ज़्यादा होगी क्योंकि this part is exposed to the environment condition, this part is exposed to the other living organism, this part is exposed to the water, air and so, right? So more weathering will happen on the upper layer of the soil. Slowly and slowly the organic matter content will increase. Again, weathering will happen, more and more organic vegetation will be present over the rock, and that will add more organic matter to the top layer of the soil, right? Now when this happens, the rock get disintegrated into fragments and organic matter increases. Slowly and slowly weathering continues, okay, and this fragment get converted into fine mineral matter. Again, organic matter accumulate and we have fine mineral matter, and weathering is continue, right? Weathering continue. Now slowly and slowly again weathering continue, upper layer is formed which is again organic matter, another layer is formed where we have fine mineral matter, and then other layer is formed where we have fragments of parent material, right? So this is how during soil formation soil profile is also developed, right? So students, when we know how soil is formed and how the soil profile is being formed, we can study, right, how this soil is made up of, like what factors have contributed for the soil profile, okay, how the soil is influenced by different type of factor that can be studied. Okay, now that's a different topic, but right now understand during soil formation soil profile is also developed, right? Now let us understand about the soil profile. So what are these soil profiles? So students, we have different soil layers that is present in soil. Okay, so basically what is soil profile? It is the layers that is present in the soil, or you can say vertical section of soil which have different horizons. Okay, this is called soil horizon also, or different layers of soil. So we have O horizon which is organic layer, we have A horizon which is topsoil, then we have B which is subsoil, we have C which is parent rock, then we have R which is bedrock. Okay, now how to learn this? So O is organic layer basically, which means here organic matter content is high. ठीक है, तो O क्या है? ऑर्गेनिक लेयर जहां पे ऑर्गेनिक मैटर कंटेंट हाई है, एंड हियर ह्यूमस इज रिटन. व्हाट इज ह्यूमस? ह्यूमस इज बेसिकली द एंड रिजल्ट ऑफ डीकंपोजिशन, एंड रिजल्ट ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर डीकंपोजिशन. ठीक है, व्हेन ऑर्गेनिक मैटर डीकंपोजेस, द एंड product that is formed after complete decomposition of this organic matter is humus. So humus will be present on organic layer, right? Because more of organic matter is present here. Then we have A layer which is topsoil. Okay, now under organic layer we will have some minerals along with humus because it is in contact with O layer, right? So it will have organic matter also, it will have mineral matter also, right? Then we have B which is subsoil. Now in this B we have deposited salts and mineral matters. ठीक है, then we have C where partly weathered rock is present, and then we have R which is bedrock where unweathered parent rock is present. Clear? Now let us understand what is this E horizon, illuviation layer. ठीक है, now students, your A horizon is divided into A1, A2 and A3. ठीक है, now what is this A1? A1 is basically the transition zone between O and A horizon, or organic layer or top soil we can say. A3 is transition zone between A and B, which is your topsoil and subsoil. This A2 layer is known as E horizon. Okay, so what is this E horizon basically, students? So from this E horizon, like this is your E horizon. Okay, so yeah, here we have some mineral matter or salts that are present. Okay, what will happen? Water will enter into the soil. Okay, so what will happen? As the water percolate down into the soil, it will wash off. It will wash off these mineral matter. These mineral matter will also go down along with the water to the subsoil. Hence here it is written deposited mineral and मेटल सॉल्ट्स. ठीक है, तो यहां से क्या होगा, जितने भी आपके मिनरल मैटर हैं दैट विल लीच डाउन टू सबसॉइल, एंड दिस लेयर इज कॉल्ड ई लेयर which is also known as illuviation layer, from which all the mineral matter has been leached down or washed off. Clear? So this is your A2 horizon, which is E horizon. I hope it is clear now. E horizon is basically from where the mineral matter has been washed off. ठीक है, that's why it's called illuviation layer. Illuviation, or you can learn it from E से eliminate. Right? Eliminate means वहां से there is a elimination of mineral matter from this layer. Clear? So I hope now all these layers are also clear to you. Right? Now let us understand few processes through which these layers are formed. So first we have a process known as horizonation. Horizonation basically it is a term given for the process of formation of different horizon in the soil. ठीक है, I hope it is clear from the term itself. Horizonation, basically formation of horizons, formation of these soil layers. Clear? Now students, there is a process known as humification. I have already discussed this with you. What is humification? It is again conversion of organic matter through decomposition to humus. ठीक है? How it is converting by decomposition. Who is doing the decomposition? Basically microorganism, right? Microorganism are decomposing organic matter into humus. Clear? So this process is known as humification. I hope it's clear. Then we have another process known as eluviation. Eluviation is something that we have already discussed, that is happening in E layer or E horizon, right? What was happening? All your mineral salt, it was getting eliminated or washed off to the B layer, that is subsoil. This process is known as eluviation. Okay, again E say elimination. So eliminating of all these mineral salts from E horizon to the B horizon. Clear? Then we have eluviation, another term. So what is this eluviation? So this is something that is happening in B horizon. So when this mineral matter get washed off from E horizon, it is getting accumulated somewhere, right? So it is getting accumulated in your B, which is your subsoil. And this process, which is accumulation of mineral matter to the subsoil, is called as eluviation. Clear? I hope now humification, eluviation and eluviation is clear to you. Horizonation is also clear to you, right? So these are some easy terminologies that can be asked in your examination and you can learn it likewise, right? And with this, I have come to the end of this lecture. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture and now you have got the clarity of soil, how soil is formed, soil profile and how soil profile is formed. Okay, also different layers of soil profile and different processes that is happening, that is initiating the formation of these soil horizons. Clear? So with that, we have come to the end of this lecture. I hope you have enjoyed. If you are new to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's all. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much.